Break it down. Break it down.
Come to my live stream. I'm super famous.
Hello everybody. Hello everybody. How's it going, my friends? I hope everybody's doing good, doing well. Give me 1 second to unmute everybody. Hey guys, what's up guys? Thank you for joining us today on another TacoCast. With us today we have our beautiful friend Beautiful, and we have Chadley, That Bald Gamer, and Venge, and Retro for the first time in a long time. How is everybody doing today? How's everybody's good? How are you? How's everybody? I know that Beautiful, you're just waking up, right?
Yeah, I just woke up. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I just woke up. It's like currently 10:33 a.m. So I'm waking up. But we got coffee. We dressed up for the occasion, and we're ready. We're ready to do this. So.
That's awesome. Well, as every other podcast, and like I always ask, what have you guys done this month, and what games have you guys been playing off stream? So for your own selves, something your own self. So we'll start off with Beautiful.
Games that I've been playing off stream. I've been really into. I don't know if you guys heard of a game called Wargroove. It's made by a company called Chucklefish. They're the guys who are responsible for publishing Stardew Valley. They made Starbound, and I think they also published Risk of Rain. It's kind of like a similar. I like to say it's a little more similar to Fire Emblem, but it plays like Advanced Wars. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the old Nintendo title. It was like a GBA game, Advanced Wars. Anybody know?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You guys do? Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys do know. Yeah. It plays just like that. Wargroove is pretty cool. It's hard. It's really difficult.
Whoa! Sorry, we had a jump scare.
Let's get this party started.
What was that? I got scared.
Everyone hashtag Sir Nigel in the chat.
Sorry guys. Sorry.
Sir Nigel? Oh my god, that scared me. He got scared, and that scared me.
I know, yeah. I got everything muted, so I'm like, what?
What? What happened?
Yeah, I was like, why is he screaming? What happened?
Woo.
It's always hilarious.
All right, because
We don't even hear it.
I know you guys don't hear anything. It's just a scream. All right, continue. Beautiful. Sorry.
Oh no, I mean, aside from Wargroove, honestly, I've just been playing Tetris 99, trying to get them,
Right?
them wins, boy. Get those wins. It's hard out here, dude. All right, that's pretty much it. Tetris, Wargroove, and like Smash Brothers. Honestly, that's what I've been playing on.
For sure.
Everything else is one.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Bald? What have you been up to?
Aside from Tetris 99, that's what I've been doing pretty much. I mean, because yeah, that game just came out of nowhere like a wrecking ball, and just I've been like addicted. That's the one thing nobody. That's the thing about Nintendo. You don't ask for it, and then they just give it to you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, maybe I do want this. And so it's been a lot of fun playing that, and still no wins though. Highest I've got is second place, and that was frustrating. But,
Oh, that's so close.
it's so much fun. But other than that, I'm a boring guy. If I don't stream it, I'm just on YouTube trying to find the next thing. So that's about it.
For sure, for sure. Benj, what about you, my friend?
I actually played quite a few things. This time I finally got something to talk about when it comes to this subject. As far as Tetris 99 goes, I didn't play a ton of it, but I kind of like understood the hype behind it after I played a little bit of that. But here's the two games that I've really been enjoying. Recently, I finally got a chance to play Resident Evil 2, the remake, and oh my gosh, warms my heart. So what makes that game so great is the fact that, because I played the original and beat that, and I know all the ins and outs, and it's like they did an amazing job, like leaving in the elements that you're familiar with, but then completely making it feel so different to the point where it feels like a whole new game. Because I was literally scared during my first 2 hours. Now, I wasn't expecting to be scared, so that was amazing. But the game that I've really been working with is fitness boxing, just because of the fact that I wanted to focus more on getting myself in better shape, since I was doing a lot of dieting recently.
Yeah.
Doing that, and it's like really good. Really fun to do. The workout is great, and ever since I've been doing it, I've been doing it consistently on top of a better diet, really trying to stay away from all that stuff that I just love to eat, like Kirby. So.
Hey, there you go, right there.
Here it is. So things is a lot better now. So
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I gotta say, I wouldn't have said Resident Evil warmed my heart, because it warmed my pants every time I peed myself from how scared I was during that game.
Yo, for real, dude. Dude, I can't. I can't with that dude.
Oh man.
It's real.
Chadley, what about yourself, my friend?
Not a lot. I mean, as I say before, like I don't get much time to play games off stream, but the games that I've been doing most of the time are whenever it's like usually when I'm playing with my family and stuff. So like we went on this like whole binge of like doing Jackbox games.
Yeah.
So like I basically went and got like all the Jackboxes except for number 5. And like all the kids and Mama Duck and me, like we're all just playing all the different Jackbox games right now. And then still playing through Pikmin with Emma right now, Pikmin 3. I've never actually completed that game, but it's for whatever reason it's like super fun to play with Emma. And obviously I play League of Legends on and off stream a lot, so usually I'm playing with my family with League of Legends as well. So. Yeah, I know. People like all hyped about me playing League of Legends.
See you, Chadley. Yes. I like League of Legends though. I'm a big fan.
What about you, Louis? What have you been playing?
I've actually been playing a lot of Apex Legends. I haven't got into Tetris. I'm not good with games like that. But I tried Apex Legend just because I hadn't really seen anybody play it, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot just to see. And I actually really, really like that game. I haven't had a chance this week to play it, but I put in a lot of hours into that game. Besides that, I haven't really been playing much. I've been in school, so I've been absolutely swamped with homework. So I don't get much of a chance to play, but that's the game that I spent the most time with recently. What about you?
Off stream, I've been racking it with Final Fantasy 14. I'm so addicted right now to that game.
Oh man, oh,
Like,
got him.
I know I've been playing like on stream sometimes, but every once in a while, as of right now, it stopped because I have no internet at home. But once it comes back up, I can get back to it.
Are you all like, make sure you get your elemental powers?
That's exactly how I.
Actually, good trying to get back into it because don't they have that new expansion with like Gunblade characters and then the Vera coming out?
Oh,
That'll
just
be
a
really exciting.
yeah, just a bunch of stuff coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm really he does that all the time. Yeah. I do. I tell him, Ryan, make sure you have your cape of life on.
Wow.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk the big news that just was announced. What, like maybe a week ago, if that. Reggie is retiring from Nintendo. What do you guys think of that? So let's go ahead and jump over to Beautiful. What are your thoughts on that, my friend?
To be honest, I feel like there really isn't too much to be said. It makes sense. He's been doing this since I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was really young when I first even saw Reggie. He might even, maybe his first appearance, honestly, maybe even been before I was born. I don't know. I feel like it was a little after. He need like one of the first things I noticed when he was doing this whole speech online, or when he did the speech, the video I first saw it on Twitter, and I saw the video, and one of the first things he mentioned was that he just needs time to spend with his family. And I feel like anybody here, of course, who has children, more specifically even in Chadley, I guess you could definitely understand if you worked for like some big crazy company, such as Nintendo, and you just never got to really see your wife and kids. For anybody here that's married and has children, that's probably horrible. You know what I mean? It's probably a bit miserable for both ends. Your end because you don't get to see them, their end because they don't get to really have a father figure in their life. Because even though their father is doing great things with their life, still just having your father there, just being supportive. I would assume that this was needed. He needs a vacation. He probably just needs to spend time with his family. I feel like it's really simple. I was more happy to hear the news because I was like, I know how these CEOs work. The thing is, slightly off topic. I live in South Korea, for anybody that doesn't know in the chat. And living here, I understand how the Asian culture, the work ethic works here. And one of the biggest things is that when you work for any type of company, even if it's, the American, side area of the company, it's still ran by Japanese, headquarters. So you work hard. You don't really get time to rest, honestly, especially for Asian culture. So I really know that Reggie he probably had to work beyond hard. It's difficult. I understand it. So being a foreigner that works for a Japanese company, so I get it. So I'm happy for him. That's really all I got to say.
That bald gamer, what are your thoughts on this?
I feel the same way as Beautiful. I'm happy for him too, but I'm also saddened because and I can only speak for myself here, but I don't know how many of you here can do this, but can you name any of the head of PlayStation or head of Xbox or any of that?
Exactly.
Phil Spencer, that's the only person I can name.
But I'm just saying
that one guy makes cringy jokes.
My point with that is, Nintendo does a good job, even across the pond or whatever, in their Japan division, with having these personalities that aren't just personalities behind the scene, but they're personalities in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And Reggie was really well known here in the States, and probably even over in Japan, just like Iwata was known here in the States and surely in Japan. And so it's kind of sad to see it's part of life, people move on, but it's sad to see another personality that we've grown up with and know and love, some of us, just disappear and move on. So Doug Bowser, which yes is his name, he's got something left to fill. And you know, so more power to him. Good luck to him. But yeah, it's kind of sad. But I'm sure he'll be. He made the decision. He knows what he's doing, and I'm sure he's going to be happy.
Oh, for sure. Venge, what about you, my friend?
Well, quite a few things. It's amazing how long he's been doing. Like, honestly, it's been so amazing to the point when I actually found out that he was actually 60, which is actually surprising. I was like, wait, he's actually 60?
Oh, wow.
I actually thought he was younger than that.
60?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
around 60-ish somewhere. And I was like, what? Because, I mean, usually when doing something like that, usually there's a lot of stress involved. Even 50, maybe it was 55, I don't know. But I know that's what I was told, so I'm just going based on what I was told.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty good when it comes to stuff like that. But either way, like usually when it comes to positions like that, there is some stress involved. So, I mean, usually some people, when you see them later, they look completely burned out.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the fact that Reggie looks like he never changed one bit, you know what I mean? He still feels good. He's going out, you know, he's going out strong instead of leaving with heart conditions or some kind of
Mhm.
physical ailment. So
Yep.
I feel like it was better for him to leave in that regard. Go out a champ. I mean, like, it kind of reminds me back when I was really heavy on like WWE, like wrestling and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
seeing all my favorite superstars just go, and it made it harder for me to continue watching.
Sorry, just reading Crispy's comment.
Crispy. Oh my
It's
God.
all good. It's all good. Like,
His body is Reggie.
like my fan of, like, I'm a huge fan of Edge, and when he had to go, I was super disappointed. But the thing was, they was even saying he was having back complications, so it was better for him to leave now than to leave with a really badly injured back. So
Mhm.
I was actually happy for him in that regard. So Reggie's definitely going to be missed. He made his mark, and the fact that, you know, Bowser is taking over.
Yo, right?
Great.
It's a
So,
conspiracy.
Right?
It was all planned.
From the beginning.
All is planned.
a good conspiracy because it kind of like adds that personality. I mean, nobody expected that.
Mhm.
And that thing where he had Mario and Luigi tied up behind him. You know, he has some personality. And he got big shoes to fill, but I mean, Nintendo knows what they're doing, and I feel like they got confidence in what
Mhm.
they can do.
For
So
sure.
I wish them the best.
For sure.
Yeah, I can agree.
Chadley, what about yourself, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can really add much to what everybody else has said so far, but yeah, I mean, it's a smart move, I think. I mean, he like Venge said, you know, he's got family, wants to spend time with his family. Totally understand. I mean, he's 60, right? You guys said he was like 60 years old.
58, I think, is what Miju just said.
Yeah.
Oh,
with him, so with him being being where he was, I mean, obviously he was probably getting paid pretty well at Nintendo. So I mean, him retiring early is okay. You know, it's not like where some companies, like where if I was working at a company, like I couldn't retire early. You know. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's got family that are like coming close to age where they might be moving out, and so I mean, I totally understand where he's at a point in his life now where it's like, you know, I've been busy with Nintendo for how long now, and now it's time for me to just be a gamer with my family,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
not be a businessman anymore. But I think the things that we've seen so far from Bowser already kind of give you an idea what his personality and the way he jokes around and stuff, just in some of the pictures you've seen, especially just with the little thing of the Mario and Luigi doll wrapped up in in a cord from a Nintendo 64 or GameCube controller. Like just that little subtle thing in the background, and everybody picks up on that. And I'm sure they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
They're totally playing off of this whole Bowser thing. And if it's all his doing, like that just shows like we have a great new CEO in place for Nintendo of America. So
Exactly.
I'm excited to see what he does for the company. So
No, exactly. Lou, do you have anything to put in there?
Oh yeah, I mean, just going back kind of what was said earlier about how their personalities. It's not just like, oh, this guy is the head and he talks because he's a talking head. It's like, no, they're actually involved. So it's interesting to see that personality coming through with this new person taking over. And I'm really glad that Reggie is stepping down now that Nintendo's at the top again. If it would have been a couple of years ago where Nintendo was struggling, would have looked like a move where he's running away from the issue. But here it feels like, okay, I did what I need to. I helped them pick it up. I'm good to walk away now and leave the reins to somebody else. So it seems like a very good. It's like a bow out, right? It's like I've done my job. I've completed it the way it needed to be. So in that case, I'm totally right behind him for stepping out now that he's past all the hardships, and he's not sitting there going, now I can ride the coattails of success. He's ready to let somebody else take over and move forward with it. So I'm glad for him. I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel the same way. Like the good thing, I was worried. I was like, who's gonna fill? He has big shoes to fill. He has very big shoes to fill. But I think again, Doug is gonna be someone who's up to the task. And again, if it came out of his own doing that joke with the dolls, we're in for a good someone who can take sense of humor. And that's what we need, because like it or not, Nintendo, when they do the Direct, they always throw in comedy skits and all that stuff. So it's fun to see that they're gonna still have that. So that's nice to see, for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and okay. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Google apparently is coming out with their own like gaming service, or they believe it might be a gaming console. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this whole idea that Google might be doing this? Beautiful. Go ahead, my friend. You have a big smirk.
So, my thing on Google possibly making, personally, I haven't heard anything too much about this news. So hearing about Google possibly making a console, it seems like it's a high possibility, and it's possible it could be really successful. The reason I think about this is that who would have thought years ago that Microsoft would have been one of the big three? You know what I mean? The big three originally was like Sega, Nintendo, and then Sony was like just kind of good. But even then, who would have even expected Sony? Sony was originally just making household appliances and TVs and things like that. They weren't really like into the gaming industry until they realized that gaming was becoming so big, and Sega was taking over arcades and you know, what was it? There's like that, I don't remember the name of the board, but it was like the specific arcade board that Sega was making, and Sony wanted a piece of it. And they honestly said, what if we took that and we made it into a home console? And I remember specifically it was due to some of their football sports titles. And they were like, whoa, we got to put that on a console. How can we do that and then make it look even better? With that note, like I said, that's Sony. And then you moved on to Microsoft, a big computer PC company. And now we have Google, which is it's like pretty much one of the top charted companies just in the world. They're like a billionaire top corporation, and it's very possible for them to make game consoles. They have the technology. I feel like Google's very creative. They have innovation in just their kind of like their small little tech gadgets, and I feel like a game console is really not too far from what they want to do. So I think it'll. I'm not going to say I'm excited for it or it's something that I'm looking forward to, but I am curious. I can say I'm curious at the least to see what Google would do to, you know, to create a console. And I'm curious what kind of exclusives Google would make. That's actually what I'm like, you know what I mean? You got Uncharted, you got Mario on the Nintendo side, Halo and all that stuff for Xbox. What would Google make? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like CEO Simulator. Like, what would they do? anything
Lord,
fun
have
that they
mercy.
would do. You know what I mean? So
I mean, they got that
I'm
dinosaur when you go
curious.
offline.
Yeah, there you go. That's their console exclusive.
They might make that in HD. I'm just saying. Hey, I don't know. Well,
Your
I'm curious.
internet doesn't work. Let's play Dino DX.
Chadley on that offline. That's a real offline game he's playing.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I think I have to say about Google. I think it's interesting. Like I said, I'm more curious than anything. In fact, I would personally like to.
Stop my heart.
I'm there in spirit.
CC Gaming. Everyone hashtag CC Gaming in the chat.
Oh shit! Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But yes, I think that's all. That's pretty much all I have to say on that. I'm curious more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That bald gamer, what about you, my friend?
I'm probably in the minority here. I'm not too excited about it because I feel they should probably fix YouTube first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh my god, yeah.
But
Ain't wrong.
but that being said, I mean, and they've had plenty of successes, like Beautiful was saying. They've had plenty of successes, but they've also had some failures, like Google Plus, and then YouTube is having some struggles, and then even Google Fiber is kind of like, what's going on with that? Because in my old job, I was kind of close to Google Fiber, and it was this long and drawn out process, and then they totally had to just pull back from what they're trying to do and kind of replan that, and so they definitely got their hands in all these little categories here, but I think they need to just try and focus on some of their bigger fish, like maybe YouTube first, and maybe kind of get that more organized.
Oh, for
before they
sure.
start worrying about that. Now that said, on top of that, I don't really know if we need another person, because we've seen this before, or I meant to say person, I mean like company. We've seen this before with like the Ouya or whatever that was. And that totally super flopped, and like that was pretty much like Android gaming in the form of a console, or like phone gaming, or whatever you want to call it. But it was like in this little box. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but
Yeah, the
but
Ouya.
it's just nobody talks about it. I'm probably the first person that's talked about it in like years. So it's just like I don't know. I think, and even now, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But with Xbox now in talks with Nintendo to possibly bring their software onto Nintendo's hardware, it sounds to me like even maybe Microsoft is like, all right, we've had our fun with this hardware business. Let's go focus more on software.
Yeah.
Oh. Is he playing like freeze frame? I think he disconnected.
I think is it us?
Are we all disconnected? Are we disconnected? Oh no.
Oh no. No, we're good.
Try leaving the call and going back. Oh no. Yeah, we're moving.
We're moving.
But are we moving on? Oh.
Everyone's
Like-
there we go.
Wait. We all disconnected for some reason.
We're back.
Okay.
Just me. I was like,
We're all back.
I think we're all back.
opportunity to get on TacoCast and it ruined it. I thought it was me, dude. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, but I'm just worried that maybe
was
they'll come up with some like
it was a scare.
exclusive, like YouTube perks for using their console or something. That would be kind of messed up. I don't know, but we'll see. But on paper, just from what I know right now, I'm not too hype about it. I don't know if I'm in the minority or what, but that's my thoughts.
No, for sure. Benj, what about you, my friend?
My friend Bodie, I'm with you, brother. Dude, like honestly, like you hit the nail with that.
That's real. Yeah.
With that YouTube.
Hey, I can be savage sometimes. I'm a nice guy. I have no money.
Real.
Cause you know what? Google, you're a jerk. I'm just saying. I'm calling them a jerk because, like, one of the problems with business nowadays is the potential threat that some of the bigger corporations have. Is like the bigger they get, the more I don't know, the more hungrier they get. It's like, because when I think of Google, you see Google, they have their hawk hands on everything. And it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some things that I actually like about Google, like such as things like Google Drive, I find that extremely useful. They do have some interesting stuff, but at the same time, they're dabbing in everything, and it just gets you. And did my dab just like wreck the?
It slowed it down for a minute there.
It slowed it down.
The dab was too much.
No more dabs.
Power to surpass Metal Gear.
So yeah, no more dabs. So I mean, like, it's hard for me to trust them. Like Bold Gamer was saying about fixing YouTube. One of the issues that I feel like YouTube is constantly having is the fact that YouTube has very little control over their own platform. Because, I mean, it doesn't make sense for YouTube to have such a hard time fixing things that they should be able to handle.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at all the games and all the different things that they have to offer, microtransactions.
Oh gosh.
They're everywhere. They're behind you right now. So I mean, as great as Google is, and they do have some really good stuff, it's like there's also that thing. What are they going to do to botch it up or create frustration for the masses? So I just hope that they don't go that thirsty route and focus on what matters, which is the consumer. That's the only thing I could think of right now.
No, for sure. Chadley, what about you, my friend?
Oh.
Yeah, I just see it being a hot mess. If it comes out.
Like, hot mess.
I had to throw it in there, so. I gotta throw it in there. I don't know. I agree with Bald Gamer that it doesn't make, like, we've seen too many other companies try to get into the console race, and it just never works out for them because we already have the top contenders already made.
Love the beautiful bald men and their boys.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think
Maxwell, thank you for donating 777. Super appreciate
what
that.
they're going to be doing is trying to capitalize on this streaming, this like whole new trend of streaming games.
Yeah, for sure.
And they want to be the ones that come up with the solution that works really good and beats everybody else to the punch of having it work good in the States. Because people, I think Nintendo's already doing it over in Japan. That's because their internet is so much faster than ours. And I know there's people here that have tried using it by using Japan accounts and all that kind of stuff, because I know Spawnwave has tried to do it too, and said it's just not feasible. Like, it just doesn't work well over here in the States, and that's because of our limited internet.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone, please hashtag Max before I forget for the $7. Super awesome. Thank you very much, my friend. But yeah.
So, but yeah, and with a console, it's like, really, like, what are they going to put on it? Like, put all their games that they have access from the Google Play Store on this console to make it easily accessible. Like, that seems to me like it's just nothing more than like Apple TV at that point.
Yeah,
because Apple does the same thing already. You buy an Apple TV, you get access to their App Store, and that's no different. So they're not doing anything innovative or anything new that hasn't been done before. So I don't know. I'm not really that excited for it.
Yeah, I hear you for sure. Louis, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what kind of mess they're gonna make, to see how they're gonna fail. But yeah, I think the big thing they're trying to push for is like the streaming service, right? To run something like Netflix. What was that thing called before? I don't remember what it was called, but there was that service that was like Netflix for video games. So I can see them trying to push some.
Gamefly?
No, it wasn't.
Gamefly.
No, it wasn't Gamefly. It was. No, it was one that was like actually streamed. So like you could have like a netbook, and all you did was log in, and as long as you had fast internet, their computers did it all, and it just streamed it to you. I can't remember what it was called. I signed up for it for a few months.
There is one that I've seen.
I know what you're talking
advertised.
about. I know what you're talking
Like
about.
in the last couple of days, I actually seen something advertised on the internet. I can't remember the name of it, but that is exactly what they're advertising, is that you can play these games on any device, anywhere, as long as your internet is capable of doing it.
Exactly. So I can see them going for something like that, which is a cool idea in concept, because then you could have a garbage computer and play the best games ever. But the downside is the internet infrastructure. Like the whole Western Hemisphere has garbage internet, and even you hear Americans complaining about it, and the best Canadian internet still doesn't even hold up to mediocre American internet. Because there are some people that I'm listening, like you listen to Spawnwave, he's like, oh yeah, I've got okay internet, and he names his numbers, and he's like, it's still not good enough. I'm like, I'm not even at half that speed, and I'm paying for pretty decent internet. So right now, I don't think it's feasible. I just don't think that anybody's infrastructure will be able to hold up to having no latency, because the latency you get is just going to ruin the gameplay for 90% of the games out there. So I'm interested to see them fail, but I don't expect to hold my breath for them to actually be the next 4.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. I agree. Like, I don't know what we're to expect. I mean, again, it comes down, if they did a console, what games are we gonna get, right? And is the console even gonna be able to compete with something like Sony's idea or Xbox's idea for their next console, right? Or are they gonna do the service? And again, will that service hold up? I mean, PlayStation has a service and it's doing okay, and Xbox has their service as well, and it's doing okay. Can they compete with those two? I mean, it's hard to say. It's really hard to. I don't think they should be getting involved in that situation, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the only benefit that Google has is they have the money to burn. Yeah, so they can spend the millions on doing this, fail, and it's not going to be any issue for them. They're just going to continue moving forward.
Exactly. They'd rather just burn it all. I wish I had that kind of money.
I know, right?
Yeah. Real, man.
I'm more excited to see where this whole partnership with Microsoft and Nintendo goes.
Yeah,
same.
I'm interested in that. I'm interested in that.
It was because, like, with all these rumors about Microsoft possibly putting the Game Pass on the Switch somehow and allowing you to access maybe games that you never would have been able to, and the fact that they have these rumors about some Xbox only exclusive games possibly physically coming to the Switch, like Cuphead, and there was like a couple other ones that are just being random, like just random games that are just like it's all like it's I don't know, it's more exciting than this whole Google stuff.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Yeah. And I think because the rumors I've been hearing about what the Xbox's next generation will be like is I've been hearing that they're gonna do like a streaming only console, and then one that actually does the hardware processing right in your box, so you can get a good discount. If that's really the route they're going, then who's to say that they wouldn't be able to offer something like that for Nintendo? It's like they just offer, if you already own a Nintendo console, just pay for the membership and you get the same streaming service on the Nintendo console. So
and think of all the possibilities for Smash. You know, you got maybe Banjo-Kazooie finally making its thing because Rare's owned by Microsoft. But guess what? They're having these talks. So hang on a minute.
Exactly.
I think there's something also they mentioned about, and maybe this isn't a big deal to a lot of people, for anybody who is like a completionist. They're talking about implementing achievements like the original Xbox 360 achievement system onto the Nintendo Switch. So that means, maybe it's like, collect all the moons in Super Mario Odyssey, and then you get a little achievement, 300 points, and it's like, I don't know, what a lot of people could not care less about achievements, but something about when I do something cool in a game and I get a little achievement, I'm like, yeah, baby,
like, I did it.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Mom, I call my mom like, yo, mom, I got the achievement.
What is that? What does that bring you? Does that bring you dinner? No, it's just a cool little thing.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, but look at it, it's a thing.
Well, I mean, since we're on the subject, we might as well talk about it. So with this happening, what are you guys hoping to see between Xbox and Nintendo? Is this something good, or do you think that maybe this could be something that's just going to cause conflict? Let's start with Beautiful. Let's go with you.
So you're talking about in regards to this whole Microsoft
exactly
kind of Nintendo merge. I'm excited. Here's the thing. I'm not too much of a Microsoft fan any longer. Just a little quick back history. When I was an Xbox 360 only kind of guy way back in the day when it first came out. And I owned the original Xbox. It was cool. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like my biggest, coolest, most favorite, whatever system. However, when the 360 came out, I was really enjoying it, but it got a bit much when I had to replace my Xbox 360 3 times due to the red ring of death. You know what I mean? That kind of killed it for me, and I ended up I didn't use Microsoft products for a very long time. But there's a lot of exclusives that I still like that they're talking about possibly bringing onto the Nintendo Switch, as Chadley brought up earlier. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with like the Gears of War series or like possibly Dead Rising, you know, like the Capcom zombie kind of survival apocalypse kind of game. Those are really cool games, and I feel like Dead Rising like fits perfectly onto Nintendo. And seeing someone like Frank West, as Bald Gamer said about like Smash Brothers, if we saw someone like Frank West appear in Smash, I think that would be incredible. Like nobody talks about Frank West. Like Frank West was implemented into Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He was also in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. He's been in a Nintendo game. You know what I mean? Tatsunoko vs. Capcom was on the Wii, so it's like. That kind of I kind of thought a bit deeper into it because I was like, yo, Frank West, Microsoft, Frank West, Smash Brothers. You know, I was excited for it. So I think it'll be cool. The whole achievements thing I think would be really cool. I think the only thing I worry about is if it became too cross-platform, it could, not that it would kill the image of Nintendo, but there could be some worries of like too much of the Xbox community fusing into the Nintendo Switch community. Not saying that like, oh, all Xbox users are toxic, but there is a bit of a reputation on Xbox Live, and if they implemented this onto if there was like a Nintendo Switch Microsoft-ish, you know, kind of live service, and where all the players were able to even voice chat with each other, you got all these little kids who play Mario Odyssey mixed in with the hardcore Call of Duty guys, and I feel like it would just be a big mess online. You know, little kids yelling at these grown men, you know, and there's profanity trading everywhere. You know, I'm thinking very long-term possible negativities, but overall, I would say that I'm excited for it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. That Bald Gamer, what are your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, so I'm probably might get some hate for this, but I've pretty much my whole life I've swung between pretty much three of the big four. And that's Nintendo, Sega, and Sony. I've never owned an Xbox console. So that being said, maybe it's a good thing I didn't. I waited. I did it. I win.
There you go.
I win.
but on another note, that being said, I'm more excited about what they can bring to the Nintendo.
Oh no.
Side of things. Mainly huge for possibly a Rare, like the company Rare, not like the word Rare, but the company Rare, and what they can bring back to Nintendo, because man, one of the biggest hurdles for an N64 classic is probably Rare, because a lot of the games that we know and love were Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo, and all these are Rare titles. So if you do an N64 classic without those, you got what, like Snowboard Kids, and that's it. No, I'm just kidding. There's way more than that. But I'm just saying, like, they bring a lot to the table. So I mean, so it's exciting to see that maybe that relationship will be rekindled with Rare. And again, like Beautiful was saying, actually, I think Beautiful did a really good job and hit the nail in the coffin with pretty much what he said. And also just with what it can bring with like Smash. And you know, I think that lead to maybe Cuphead being a Smash, maybe Banjo being a Smash. All these characters that at first you'd be like, oh, come on, get out of here. But now, even Minecraft Steve, because, you know, technically, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Minecraft or Microsoft own Minecraft? So that's another thing that they can kind of like implement even further on Nintendo consoles through that. So, and of course, yeah, I'll admit, even though I've missed out on some Xbox exclusives, like Beautiful was saying, I might be excited to finally try, if it happens, like Chadley was saying, maybe some Halo or who knows, Gears of War, whatever the case may be. But I think it's really, I think Sony might be in trouble if they don't get their get their anti-cross-playing butt back in the game because and this is coming from a Sony fan. I mean, I went through a period of time where I kind of just got bored with Nintendo and I went to Sony for a while, and then I'm back. I'm like a hybrid fan of both, but like they need to get back into the game and kind of just figure out what they want to do, maybe do more cross-play. Because right now, man, I'm telling you what, Xbox and Nintendo are on their A game. So,
Yep, no, for sure, for sure. Venge, what about you, my friend?
Well, this is like you guys hit all the sweet spots. I couldn't agree more.
Sorry,
Like,
man.
no. I mean that in a good way. I mean, like pretty much this just reminds me of what we've always been discussing for the past couple podcasts. Once again, there's this like third party support and all of these out of nowhere collaborations, and it just gives Nintendo just that much more play. And when it comes to Xbox, I mean, like when it comes to like online functionality, like they started that. They really did. Like when it came to the console industry, because they had Xbox Live like before even the 360. And it worked. I mean, I didn't even know that sort of thing existed until I found out about the Xbox, because back then I was like doing the PlayStation 2, and then I found out about that, and I was like, holy crap, that's crazy how much they're charging for that. And of course, the one thing that I would think of that could be a slight con, especially for the younger crowd, is just the fact if Xbox was to do some kind of thing to help Nintendo revamp their online service, like there's a good chance that their price tag for the monthly service is definitely going to kick up. Because imagine if out of nowhere, for whatever reason, Microsoft comes up with this crazy plan to where Nintendo could get more bang for their buck when it comes to their resources and their online service, and you get all of this crazy stuff. Like, here's the one game that I thought about. I know all of you guys know of this, which was Nintendo Super Mario 64 online, and how that was such a sensation, and people were so super hype about that, and everyone was talking about that and trying to figure out how to do it. And imagine Nintendo being able to on that with the assistance of Microsoft. The possibilities is huge.
Yep.
And nowadays, when you look at how businesses are, like collaboration is like such a key thing. I mean, look at all of us, right? In this community, and how collaboration, working with one another, just creates such a unique experience for not only us but the viewers as well.
Yep.
So that's the best idea I could come up with.
No, for sure. For sure. Chadley, what about you, my friend?
Well, the only thing I could add probably is just that, the whole Microsoft Nintendo thing, I just, I see Microsoft realizing that they can't keep doing things the way they have been doing things. They see that Sony gets all this backlash because they're not willing to cooperate, or not cooperate, but they're not willing to work with the other companies. They think of Nintendo and Microsoft as their competitor, and that's it. But competitors can work together. They can do things. They can do great things as competitors, but also working together to create something that is new. Like this whole partnership, I mean, with them being able to say, let's put our differences aside and create the ability to have people that play games on Nintendo cross-platform play with people that are playing the exact same game on the Xbox. Like, we've been waiting for that for such a long time. Like we've been waiting for these companies to realize that it doesn't matter that you put this game out on 5 different consoles. Like we care about being able to play with those people that are on those consoles too, because the bigger the community, the better. You know, you're always gonna have those people that want Xbox consoles because that's what they've been with this whole time.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that want Nintendo consoles because that's all they've been, that's all they know. Sony, same way. So it's like they're not going to lose money by working together. If anything, it's going to help them make more money. And hopefully Sony will realize that eventually. But right now, I mean, I think this is a smart move by Xbox, smart move by Nintendo. And again, Microsoft might be getting into that same area like Sega did back in the day, realizing that, hey, if our consoles keep dipping in sales, we have this other avenue we can take now because we have this partnership with Nintendo. So if our consoles crap out and we just can't sell them anymore and we want to get out of the console business, we still make games for PC like we've always made, but now we can have a platform that we have a very good working relationship with and take all of our IPs from Microsoft and stick them right on Nintendo if the console business just doesn't work out for them anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they're very smart with trying to create 2 different avenues of making revenue instead of sticking with what they've been doing.
No, for sure, for sure.
I agree, indeed.
What about you, Louis?
Yeah, I mean, kind of expanding on what Chadley was saying. For me, it's the Xbox fan in denial that them doing this is just another point to say that Xbox is on its way out. Like Microsoft won't be holding Xbox for much longer. I've always been a Sony fan. I've always been a Nintendo fan. I was never really an Xbox fan, but then I bought the Xbox One X and I fell in love. I love that console. I think it's amazing. So it makes me sad to see Xbox have such potential and they're going downhill. I do think that it's this weird game that these guys play where, you know, the PlayStation 2, PlayStation could do nothing wrong. And then they got kind of conceded, and then PlayStation 3 came out, and they thought that whatever we do, they'll accept. And then Xbox came and wiped the floor with them. And then you know, PlayStation had to kind of make up for it, so they worked hard to please the consumer. And Xbox had the we can't do anything wrong. And then Xbox did everything wrong and PlayStation did everything right. So now Xbox is trying to kind of please the consumer again. And Sony's again in that place of we can do whatever we want and everybody will listen to us. And they're kind of sticking to their high horse. And it's biting them in the butt. But besides all that, reading the cards that are on the table, Xbox seems like it's on their way out. And exactly what Chadley was saying is they're playing their cards right now to be able to still survive in the gaming world without necessarily relying on the gaming consoles. So the fanboy in me wants to kind of deny it, but the realist in me knows that it's a great move. It's a really good move for Microsoft to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, exactly. And that's the whole thing. It's like what you were saying, how Sony has to jump on this whole cross-platform thing. I mean, they were all about joining together and blah 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 and sharing your games, and that's when they released the PS4, that's what they were focusing on. And all of a sudden now they don't want to play nice and all about us, don't worry about it, you know. But I think Microsoft has, like Louis says, they have a feeling that this might be the end for them. So the best way to do it is let's take care of it now and go with someone and be able to share our games and possibly still make games, but not have to worry about a console. You know? Yeah. So that's where we're going with that. Okay, I'm gonna skip 2 of them for now because I just noticed it's 9:30 almost. So let's go ahead and give our thoughts to the big thing that we've been waiting for. This Nintendo Direct that they showed in February, and it was on what was it, Wednesday? I think it was on a Wednesday,
I think
right?
So.
Yeah. So they showed a lot of games, a lot of things came out. Let's talk first of all about the Direct itself, not about the games. Did you guys feel it was a good Direct? It was okay, it was awesome, or it was so-so? Let's start with Beautiful.
Oh man. All right, so very unpopular opinion, but I think the Direct was okay. It was okay. Here's the thing: whenever I watch a Direct, I watch it more than once. I watch it more than twice. When I first see it direct. I mean, like, not to like shamelessly plug myself, but I did stream it. My reaction to it, and my reaction was kind of meh. It wasn't really all that great. I wasn't really too impressed. And then I watched it again. Noticed little things. You know, when you're streaming or something, you kind of maybe you don't notice the little details. Then the third time I watched it, I was like sitting on my couch eating like Cheetos or something, and I'm like, you know, I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching. I'm like, oh, that actually does look pretty cool. Oh, that actually is pretty interesting. You pay attention to more detail the more you watch it. So by the third time, I concluded it to be like all right, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad direct. It was so-so. I won't get into like super detail because I think that's not the topic right now. But my overall opinion, that it was a so direct. It wasn't what I was looking for yet, but it's okay. No worries.
For sure. That bald gamer. What about you, my friend? Unsub to beautify.
Copyright strike.
The moment his channel died.
Free frame.
I actually, I mean, again, like Beautiful said, not to self-promo or anything, but I actually streamed my reaction, and I actually fell asleep during it twice.
Oh, shoot.
And, no, I'm just... But that said, it was, and that's because all the good stuff was at the beginning and at the end, so I had plenty of time to take a nap in the middle. But anyway, no, so I know a lot of you guys like to do the whole Mario Maker thing. I think that was great. I think that was great to start off with that. I know I'm looking forward to it. I know many of you are probably exactly the same way. And on that note too, I think that's going to be great for smaller YouTubers. But we'll get to that later. But and then the only other thing that really I was interested in, they showed Joker for like 1 second, so that was a snooze fest. And then they and I'm pretty sure actually that may have been like the amiibo of Joker that they showed. I don't even know if that was like an actual graphic or maybe some concept art, but it looked like it was, I don't know. But and then at the very end was my favorite part, and that was Link's Awakening. And so really, I'm really excited about that. And that came out of nowhere. There's not that many, I'll be honest. I don't think there's that many Link's Awakening fans, certainly in a younger generation. So any of them that are still hanging around are probably from our age. I know a lot of you here were pretty much around the similar age group. And, you know, back when it came out on the Game Boy, and that was like a big deal because it was the first Zelda game on a Game Boy, on a portable unit. And so it had a pretty big following back then. And now pretty much a whole new generation of Zelda fans are going to get a chance to play that. But the art style is just so crazy awesome, and like nobody saw that coming, and it's gonna be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Beautiful and take the unsub route and just say that I thought it was I thought it was an okay
We're
direction.
going down together, baby.
And there was literally a moment, when they were talking about Toad and whatever his treasure hunting game is. I was like, man, nobody cares about you. Let me get my pillow. And then I was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, and more power to Fire Emblem fans. I'm not a Fire Emblem fan. I know a lot of people were hoping for Animal Crossing. They didn't get that. I'm not an Animal Crossing fan either. So, but it's just that I feel like they got all the good stuff at the beginning and they got all the good stuff at the end, and they kind of just threw whatever in the middle. That's just my own opinion, though. This is all very opinion based.
Yeah, this is all opinion. This is just how we look at things.
Exactly.
It's all respect.
That just means he's a fake Nintendo fan, guys.
Beautiful Joe, Boney Gamer, you both are going to get copyright strike.
Oh my god. So, what about you, Veg? What were your thoughts on...
Ninjas, dude.
Right?
Well, I will say one thing too, and it's easy to forget about it since it's already out. But Tetris 99 was another good announcement. But they dished that out the same day. So that one was good too. It was like, holy crap, what is this? I mean, you know, but yeah, so, but overall, I feel like, you know, they're trying to maybe either save some good stuff for E3 or maybe for another future direct. But otherwise, they still had some good showings.
Yeah. Venge, what about you, man? What are your thoughts overall on the Nintendo Direct? Was it awesome? So okay, good?
it's like, for me, I thought like it was awesome for a bit of a different reason. Obviously dropping Mario Maker 2 is a huge one for me. Just because of the fact that that's what I started with when I began streaming, and I've never played Maker before back then. And when I experienced that, I thought that was like the funnest experience ever. And it's that one game out of my entire streaming journey for the past two plus years that, that was that one game that never left the rotation. It was always there at least once a week, once I toned down the 3 months of Mario Maker only. So I thought I was really hyped about that. I could understand where Beautiful and Bold Gamer is coming from, though, when it comes to the Direct, because you had so many things that wasn't necessarily like Nintendo focused. And I could understand that part. But when I look at that, I really like that just because it's just one of those things that we've always touched on. And it was one of the things that led to the downfall of the Wii U, which was the lack of support from third parties. And they're finally getting all of this with the inclusion of, being a huge indie game supporter. I thought that was like an amazing thing. One of the examples of this that I talked about in Kazoo's podcast was the game, I think it was called Bloodstained or something like that. Either it was Bloodstained or Stained, where it was like a Castlevania type game, and that was like, it was so interesting how that game was actually started out from, what was that, a Kickstarter, and then it wound up moving from the Kickstarter to be supported by, what was the name of that group? Dang it, I think it was like 505. Yeah, 505 games, yes. And they're like supporting that game, and then I saw the gameplay of that, and it looked super cool. I really wanted to dive into that. Like, when it comes out, I know I'm diving into that. And it's just like that third party support is so strong. Square Enix actually jumping in and teaming up with Nintendo was another huge thing that Rigo talked about, in a previous live stream, about how there was kind of like bad blood between Nintendo and Square at one point, and now Square is all in with Nintendo, and it's just, that's why I love the Direct in this case, the fact that they're getting all of this support. And then lastly, just I know people are upset about the Metroid Prime thing, but at the same time, it's like Nintendo was smart about handling. Because if they didn't, and they would have just haphazardly brought up some gameplay or brought the game up and said da-da-da-da-da, and the reality of the matter is that game is not going anywhere, people would be even more freaked. They would freak out even more, especially when it comes to the fact that the guys, it was Retro, right? The group that did Metroid Prime originally. What was the name of that?
Yeah, I think we're called Retro something. Yeah,
I think it was Retro or something like that. And if Retro wasn't the one behind it, they're going to kind of like be like, screw these guys. So I'd rather for them not to set themselves up for failure. So for me, I just found the Direct really exciting because of the fact that they have that massive support this time. As well as Mario Maker 2 and the Zelda's Awakening. Link's Awakening, Zelda's Link's Awakening, right? Am I getting that screwed up? See, I'm getting it all confused.
Well, we'll jump into the games after, but yeah. So overall, your thoughts? It was awesome, right?
It's just exciting. That's about it.
Chatty, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it had its good moments. It had its not so good moments. Just lackluster stuff, like filler stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course, Mario Maker 2. I was super stoked for that. And then Tetris 99 caught my eye too during the direct. The Yoshi's Crafted World demo that launched right that same day too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like all that stuff, like there was like these little tidbits in amongst all these games that caught my ear, but then a lot of the stuff was just like filler. Like it didn't really interest me, but I'm sure it'll interest somebody.
Yep.
And then of course, yeah, ending it with Link's Awakening was just like so super awesome. I've never played that game before, and I missed out on that because I didn't really have. I had a Game Boy back in the day, and that was it. I never went into getting all of the different all the handhelds that Nintendo came out with. But yeah, I mean, like Bald Gamer said, that the art style of that game, for me anyway, looks awesome. I know it's gotten a lot of kind of backlash from the community on it and saying it looks too toyish, I guess. To me, it looks like claymation, so I thought it was really cool looking. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's the typical Nintendo Direct. Nothing that wasn't like a wow fest, I guess, the whole time. But yeah,
Yeah, for
had
sure.
its good moments, had its so moments. But yeah.
What about you, Louis? What are your thoughts on it?
I didn't watch it, so I was at work. So I wasn't able to watch it. Not even work. I was at my clinical placement for my schooling, so I wasn't able to see it. So I came home and all I saw was that Mario Maker 2. So that was like all that I really got towards it. But I glanced over it while we were waiting for the stream to start, and I found it exciting when I compare it to the last one. Because the last one to me was just garbage. Like it was just here's Smash Bros. And every single detail about Smash Bros. And it was just like, okay. Whereas this had at least other stuff mixed in with it. So when you compare it in that way, I thought this one was really exciting. But I completely agree. It was like here's a couple of tidbits of really good stuff, and then here's some really boring filler. But I guess it's a good way to kind of keep us wanting more, right? It's like there's a couple of really good things, so don't worry, guys, it's coming out. But there's also other stuff just in case. Because it's always like one or two really good games in the year, and then there's a lot of waiting in between. Here, at least, they had a lot of like interesting stuff spread out in between, a bunch of boring stuff, but you always know there's something coming out. So that's always nice to see. So that's about as far as I could go with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought it was good. It wasn't great or awesome. I enjoyed like we talked about. They showed all these great games, and then at one point I'm like, there's a lot of RPGs coming out for this. Like a lot. Like I want some more adventure games. I don't mind RPGs. I like RPGs, but I mean, I want a good adventure game, a good game to just grab and go at it, But it was good. It wasn't the best. Comparing it, like my brother said, over to their last direct, this was definitely a lot better than I expected. But yeah, you could see in my reaction when they announced Mario, it was like the best thing in the world, But that's what I was mostly excited for. And then the Zelda game was a big surprise. So I was really surprised on that one. So that was a good catch. So talking about the direct, we can move on finally to some of the games. So let's jump into it. The first one, obviously, is Mario Maker 2. What are you guys most excited to see about this game? What do you expect from it? And what are you hoping they're implementing differently compared now that we've played Mario Maker, the first one? What do you want them to... And I know, slopes all the way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Slopes. That's the end of the bit of the podcast, guys. Slopes.
All you need is slopes.
So let's go ahead and start with Beautiful. Go ahead, Beautiful.
All right, so I'm gonna be extremely honest here. I'm not a fan of Mario Maker. I've never played it on my channel. It's not a game that I've ever really been interested in.
How do we kick them out? How do we kick them out?
Where's the boot button? Where's the kick out button?
Hear me out. So I know most of the community, that I either am involved with, you guys and everybody that I see, a lot of people, you guys all love Mario Maker, and I'm happy that everyone loves it. I was happy. I was more like a lot of games with this direct. I was happy for other people. Like seeing Mario Maker 2, I was thinking to myself, the first thing I thought of was my entire YouTube community friends, and I was like, they're probably freaking out right now. That's like the first thing I thought. Like, I didn't really get the whole slopes thing. I saw it and they were like making a big deal. I was like, why do they keep showing this? What's so great about this? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, this was a thing. This was like almost a meme. People were like, if you don't have these slopes, everyone's gonna freak out. Like, you know what I mean? So now that they implemented this in Super Mario Maker 2, I was like, oh, all right. So they're adding some improvements. It's not just a Switch port. Second thing, I hear rumors that they're adding like Angry Sun, a little Angry Sun. I was like, all right, that's really cool. I was like, I know there's gonna be some crazy levels with that. The thing about Mario Maker is, I do watch. I've seen some YouTubers play it. It's cool sometimes to watch. I don't know if I could personally get into it. It's like a maybe. It's a big maybe that I would pick it up. I want to see more. I want to see. What universes could they bring in? Like, for example, if they ever took like Super Mario 2 mechanics, they added that in, like, you know, the whole thing where you can play as Peach and, you know, she floats in the air, or Luigi, he just jumps really high. You got the charge jumps. If they somehow added that on Super Mario Maker 2, I'd be like, whoa, that's something that would really attract me. If they added items that you can pick up out of the ground. I think they added like a 3D world now. They added a 3D world kind of universe. I think that's interesting. It's not just, here are some Mario, you know, mechanics from the first game, but we're just putting it onto the Switch. I actually do see innovation, you know what I mean? Like I said, once again, not a game that I'm particularly interested in, but with the impressions that I'm getting, the excitement, maybe a little mix of hype, possibly it could show up on the channel. I can't promise anything, but it is something that could interest me in the future. So like I said, I'm very honest about my opinions on Mario Maker, even because I know like you guys love it. Like everyone was I wish I could be hyped. The excitement I saw from this community was just like, man, these guys just got revealed of like the biggest innovation, you know, sequel of the year, the big and most anticipated thing of the year. Like they're beyond excited. I wish I could feel that excitement, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm being too harsh on Mario Maker. I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. I don't know. I'm in between. I'm in between with it. That's all I gotta say.
What about you, Rick? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm kind of virtual high five for Beautiful, because we seem to be on the same page on a number of things. But
ball gamer, my boy.
But that said, I did play Mario Maker like once or twice, the first one, and you know, I know I was more excited for people that prefer that type of game, because it's definitely going to be good, I think, especially like I was going to say earlier, with the smaller community of YouTubers, because I know for one, I'll play it because I'm an interactive streamer and I like to interact, but for other people that are really good at that sort of game, I think it'll be very well for their communities, because especially on a console like the Switch, because I know a lot of people were still doing the first Mario Maker, and the Wii U's kind of dying, and it didn't really sell well to begin with. But with the console that's constantly growing, like the Switch, you're going to see more and more people tune into these streams that want to show off their own crap. And so, and it's like, you know, it's just going to be good to see what people create. Any type of game that you can just forget about the ways of the world and just be creative is always a good thing. That's partly why Minecraft is just as successful as it is. It allows people with almost limitless potential to just create. And so I think with a game like Mario Maker, I think that's pretty cool that it's coming out to the Switch. What I would like to see on Sub Nightmare Begins, I see you there, Ben. What I would like to see is, and I don't know, this is just a theory, and I don't know if they're even going to do it or not. Maybe they already have, and I don't know. But maybe some multiplayer, because you know they had Luigi in there. Maybe they'll do 2-player Mario Maker. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe they're holding out for like a special announcement, like, hey, by the way, here's 2-player Mario Maker. But who knows? But that would be cool to see if they even do attempt to do that. Maybe not now, but maybe certainly in the future. I see you there. Well, on that note too. What I can tell you what I'm not excited about. So here's some little advice for any small YouTubers out there that are watching and anybody listening. what I've noticed a lot, and no offense to anybody that does it, is there's a lot of pretty much for games like this and other games where people just pretty much use the same generic thumbnail, which is just literally just the Mario Maker picture. Please, while Nintendo allows us to be more creative in the game, be more creative with your thumbnails and try to just come up with something other than just the generic image on the cover of the game. Because I'm not looking forward to seeing my sub feed being Mario Maker with the same image. Right, please. So that's what I'm not looking forward to. So hopefully you guys will help me out if you're watching and just be more creative with your thumbnails too. So there you go.
Okay, note to self: thumbnail.
Make the thumbnail the same.
And on that note, never invite that bald gamer again.
Oh my god!
That's funny. Veg, what about you, buddy?
Boy, man, I'm like really stoked about the game. They showed a heck of a lot. I mean, in that one little trailer, it was like so much. I'm like, yo, this is not even a port. Now, that's what just makes that so super exciting, is the fact that it's not a port and they really went in and added so much more. Super exciting. The one thing that I really hope that they do, I don't want to hear this. I'm like, one thing that kills me after playing it for so long is that the music gets so doggone repetitive.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that what they could incorporate with this to make this stand out so much more, even though it's way up there, is do like what they did with Smash Bros. Ultimate. Bring in a plethora of remixes to the point where that music doesn't get stale. I mean, I feel like they hit everything else. The Angry Sun, I didn't see that coming. Slopes, great. But all I want to see is that just make sure that they have those options for the music. That's my biggest thing. I feel like everything else is going to be fine. And I'm just hoping that people don't have to have Nintendo Online, the Nintendo Online service just to get the full experience. Because I feel like if they have that, if people have to pay for that, that's kind of like going to kill it for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Chadley, what about you, buddy?
Well, to comment on the online service, you already know that if you're going to want to upload your level, they're going to make you use the online service.
Oh, yeah.
You killed Venge. You killed Venge.
They're gonna want you to use the online service to upload your level. So I don't know. Maybe not though. Maybe not. Maybe they'll make it so it's like, oh, you can still share your levels for free, but if they incorporate multiplayer and it's online multiplayer, then maybe they'll do something with the online service.
Yeah, or like you can share yours for free.
That would be awesome.
Well,
if they were to do online 2-player with Mario Maker levels.
That would be really cool. For sure. That would be really cool.
Back. I brought Venge
He brought him back to life.
He giveth life and he taketh life away.
Yeah.
The power of the beard.
No, I mean,
yes,
I mean, they kind of hinted at the fact that there could be local multiplayer because now, or at least being able to pick between what character you want to play as, or maybe when you're creating levels, making it so that you are that particular character, whether it be Mario, Luigi, Toadette, or what was the other one that's on the box art?
The Nabbit? Oh no, the art thing. Okay, I didn't see the art thing.
I think it's just Blue Toad. I think it's just the Blue Toad. So there's like they had 4 different characters in the promotional artwork. So they kind of hint at the fact that you're going to be able to play as those different characters. So either you create a level with that character in mind, because who knows, that DLC is another thing they could do with this game. They could do something with Captain Toad, add Captain Toad. You can make your own Captain Toad type levels because that's a thing with Mario Maker. with the Captain Toad suit, you know, where you can't jump, and if you jump, you hit Kaizo everywhere and stuff like that. So I could see them maybe doing something like that with the with Captain Toad, or like Beautiful said, Mario Brothers 2. That could be a DLC that they add into it.
Yep.
To be able to do different Mario stuff that they haven't. Maybe they don't want to bring out all at once, but they could definitely expand on this game, similarly to how they're expanding on Smash Bros. Even though I wouldn't want it to be like a paid DLC pack, but they might. Might do something like that where it's like, oh yeah, pay another $5 and you can play as the Mario 2 skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, obviously, it's one of my main games on my channel too. So, and I mean, truth be told, I bought the game when it first came out. 2 weeks into it, I stopped playing it, and then I really didn't get interested in it until I started watching people on YouTube play levels. Like,
Yeah.
that's what drew me back into the game, was my ability to communicate, like just to talk with everybody and hang out with everyone who's created these levels, and then them interacting with me while I play their levels. So like that's what's really drew me back into the game.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Can I say one thing real quick?
No, you said enough.
You've offended all of us.
Go ahead, Rick.
But another cool thing that I noticed in the comments, someone did mention that the Amiibos work on Mario Maker. So I'm pretty excited. I'm a huge Persona fan. So Joker in Mario Maker, buddy.
There you go.
Joker in Mario
Yeah,
Maker.
there you go.
Shovel Knight, maybe? Shovel Knight?
Yeah, right. There you go. What about you, Louis?
Mine, then this will be my thumbnail right here.
Kirby, you don't need to be tortured with this. Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
The shade.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's not much more I can add to it. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Chadley. I bought the game. I downloaded it, like I pre-downloaded it when it got released, the first one. I played it for like 3 or 4 days, and then I was like, I don't like this game. I don't get it. It's just a bunch of garbage levels. I don't understand. And then I saw people play it, and that's what made me fall in love with it. And having people interact with me while I'm playing is cool, because they'll make levels for you specifically, and it's really cool when you see stuff like that. I'm excited for this. I think that they've added enough differences to make it feel like a new game, but they kept it the same enough to still have the same magic that the first one has. So I'm stoked. I'm really excited for it.
No, for sure. I'm very excited. I'm not excited to see how we're gonna get trolled with that sun.
Oh,
because you know it's gonna happen. We're gonna have tons of. We're gonna have a level.
I'm excited though, because now that there's so many new things, the ROM hacks that are all out can now all totally be remade in Mario Maker.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited for that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, can you imagine how many suns we're gonna get attacked by?
Yeah, you know how it was always like the Lakitus, like 50 Lakitus at the beginning? Now it's gonna be 50 suns at the beginning.
Right at the beginning, 50 suns. Jump over them. Good luck.
50 Lakitus dropping suns.
Yes, that's it. That's what it's gonna be.
Yep, that's exactly what. But I'm very excited. Like, I never played the game, and again, I think it happens watching YouTube. You know, someone big like Ryukar, you watch him play this, and you're like, oh, I can do this, and you really can't. But the fact that you're trying, and you, like you guys said, interacting with everybody, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes the game fun. So I'm really excited about what we're in store for, and I really hope that they do a really good job. I mean, I love the drop, how you drop everything into the game now, and it has like its own menu. The enemies have their own menu, the blocks have their own menu, and all that, how you choose what item. I'm not a big builder, but I'm sure for the builders it's really nice. I know that someone like Grand Pooh Bear was saying he really loved that, and it looks a lot more simpler than the way it used to be. So that's pretty cool. Keeping on the Nintendo Direct, now you guys are open to talk about any game. They talked a lot on different games. We have Dragon Quest. Yeah, we got Dragon Quest 11, Fire Emblem, Ultimate Alliance, which I'm actually really excited because I like multiplayer games, and that's like a really good multiplayer game. Box Boy, what else? Captain Toad, Bloodstain. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say it.
Here.
How do you say it? Sum? Is that how you say it? But the little Disney characters. Yeah, Battlestar. There's loads of games. You know, Undertale. The what is it called? Something Ruin? Delta Ruin?
Delta Ruin.
Yeah.
Chapter 1. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1, yeah.
Chapter 1.
Dead by Daylight. And then there's Hellblade and the Zelda game, Arsenal Chain. So, let's start with you, beautiful. Go ahead. Tell us what you're excited for.
Right.
Tell us why, because there's a lot of games. You go ahead.
There's a lot to talk about here. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but don't worry, we'll sum it up pretty quickly. All right, so I'm gonna jump towards the end of the direct. There was a game called Astro Blade.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody paid attention to that. The people who were responsible for Nier. I don't know if you guys know about Nier Automata. It's a PlayStation title. Yeah, Nier Automata. They were responsible for that. So. Just a little personal touch. It hit me a little when I saw Hideki Kamiya is one of the people working on this game. Hideki Kamiya is he is the creator of Beautiful Joe. He is the man who made my channel in a sense. My name came from his game, you know. Right. Beautiful Joe, Beautiful TV, you know, all of that came originally from that game. So I'm excited because it looks good. It looks like it looks like one of those kind of fast-paced Bayonetta, Nier Automata, maybe RPG-ish, strange mech fusion kind of Xenosaga-like-esque games. And just with all of that combined, it looks like it's going to be something really interesting. I don't think a lot of people are going to play it. I don't think it's going to be popular, but that's kind of what the niche thing is on my channel. I play a lot of games that are just kind of offbeat a little bit, whether it be new or old. So Astro Blade is definitely a game that I am looking forward to. One thing I just want to talk about really quickly was I'm excited for the Smash update to see what this 3.0 thing is going to be about, because they made it such a big deal without making it a big deal, if that makes any sense. I was pretty annoyed the way it was presented. But I was excited to see, like, okay, if they made such a big deal out of this, they had to cut out an entire part of the direct specifically for this little, oh, we're going to give you an update, but we'll tell you about it when it comes out. Like, what? Why would you do that? Why even mention it? And why'd you show us this little tiny model of Joker from behind? All we saw was his coat, and I was like, this is a tease. This is literally like, this is mean almost. Why would they do this? They actually wanted to troll us. So the Smash part of the direct was almost irritating, but at the same time, it left a little bit of a cliffhanger, like, I wonder why they cut out such a part of the direct just for this update. What are they going to possibly add? So that's Smash, all right? We got that. I got the list. So then we got the Disney game, the Susun. Now, I saw that and I laughed because I was like, what? Why would I care about this? But then I thought, I'm not the only person who owns a Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yo, Sam, I see you.
Everyone, hashtag Sam in the chat.
I see you, Sam. You know, I thought at the end of the day, I'm not a child, but children exist that own a Nintendo Switch. I'm sure there was a kid out there who lost his he or she, they lost their mind when they saw that Disney suit. What's it called? Susu, whatever. Those little plushy things. They're huge here in Asia. So like, I've seen them all around. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, there's probably some kids who are freaking out right now. It looks cute. I was like, good for them. It's kind of how I felt about Super Mario Maker. Maybe not necessarily I'm excited for it, but I'm excited for other people. I'm sure there's kids who are going to enjoy that, just as I'm sure there are other people who are going to enjoy Super Mario Maker too. With that being said, moving on to the next game was Daemon X Machina, a game once again no one's talking about. It's a mech, fast-paced kind of mech game. I played the demo. They released the demo for free. Anybody who likes mech games, you should definitely check that out on the Switch. It's free. You get like a ton of missions. It has character customization. You can jump outside of the mech and run around. It kind of reminded me of the old days of Mech Assault for the original Xbox. It's cool. It's cool that they're bringing a game like that on Nintendo. The last Nintendo mech game, it wasn't even a mech game, it was more of a robot game. It was called Custom Robo. I don't know if anybody ever played it. It was an original GameCube title. So I think it was originally N64, but then it was They made a version of it on the GameCube. So that was really cool. Daemon X Machina was definitely a title that I'm looking forward to. Now, the next one I want to talk about is Yoshi. Yoshi was really cool because when I first saw Yoshi get announced, I was not impressed. I did not care. I was like,
THKU for
like,
keeping me distracted.
I don't know, not
FRM
saying
the
that.
pan
I
purple
play
heart.
games that maybe have like a childish art style to it, but when I first saw it, I was like, this looks boring almost. Like but then when I downloaded the demo and I gave it a shot, it was so relaxing. It felt like the little kid in me kind of came out and was like, yes, I like this. Like, I was so happy. I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. Like I was playing as Yoshi, you get to throw eggs and stuff. Like, I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I like this. This is actually pretty dope. Like, I was surprised that I would even be interested in a game like that. I've never played a Yoshi game before. What is it, like Yoshi Island, Yoshi's not Crafted World, was it Wally World?
Woolly World.
The one on the yeah. It looked really cool. It was just I never got into Yoshi games. I was actually more of a Wario guy when I was younger. I really like the Wario titles. So yeah, Yoshi's definitely a game I'm looking forward to. I was a little disappointed when they showed Rune Factory. I was like, do people even still play Rune Factory? Like, I was a little more annoyed that it was a port from a DS. That's a little bit of like a slap. Like, it felt like, come on, just straight up give us a new Rune. I mean, yeah, they are releasing Rune Factory 5, but the port looked terrible. I don't know if you guys saw the way it looked visually. It looks like you are literally playing a DS game, and seeing that stretched out on either a full screen TV or even stretched out on a Nintendo Switch screen, I don't think it's gonna look good. It was not something I was impressed about, so it kind of was something that went over my head. Yeah, I'm trying to get through this list fast. Next one was Deltarune. Deltarune. Now, I want to play. Undertale. I saw Spanishdude playing it on his channel. I played like the first maybe couple hours of Undertale, but I never finished it. And I see it's on the Nintendo Switch, so maybe it's a game that I'll pick up and possibly stream in the future. But like, that's the reason I wasn't really excited for Deltarune. So I was like, I want to play Undertale
Love to
first
hear
and really
views,
immerse
thoughts
myself
on
into the
Smite
game before I can even get excited for a game like that. Hellblade pushes like the limit of the Nintendo Switch, I think. Did you guys see the way it looked? Like, visually,
it looked
that's
beautiful.
Pushing the Switch to the limit. That's gonna be the game that blows us away graphically, visually. It's gonna be really beautiful. It got a lot of good awards in the 2017 Game of the Year. It was like best sound design, best artistic design, best story. It won almost everything except Game of the Year. It won a ton of awards, so I'm looking forward to it. And
just give me 1 sec, view. Thank you, Malagoon, for the $2. Super appreciate that. Everybody hash them. I know, right? Everyone hashtag them, please. Thank you very much. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh no, sorry. This is my last game, guys. Sorry, I'm like talking.
No, go ahead.
Link's Awakening, of course, is the last thing. Now, I'm about to hit you guys with another unsub, an unsub route. So, now here's the thing. Wait. Hear me out.
Wait a minute.
I'm very excited for Link's Awakening. See, you guys thought it was I'm very excited.
I'm waiting.
Keep going.
I think. All right, go ahead. I think I personally don't like 3D Zelda games. I personally am not a fan of 3D Legend of Zelda games. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Breath of the Wild. All those games I thought were very overrated. Just my opinion. I think they're all very overrated. Great for their times. They show a lot of innovation, but I think they're very overrated. I was always a fan of the 2D Zelda games. Four Sword Adventure. Nobody even talks about that game. I think it's incredible. Four Sword Adventure, Minish Cap, Link's Awakening, Link to the Past. These were the games that I just preferred more. To see that they kind of took that what was it? Spirit Tracks. It was like the 2D, 3D kind of like realm with the DS. Seeing that they're kind of going more into that realm with this Legend of Zelda, this new Legend of Zelda, it looks really cool. I saw that there was like a chain chomp, and then there was even a section where they show Goombas, and it kind of goes into that like Legend of Zelda 2. I think it's called Link's Adventure or something. The one that was the original NES one where it's like side scrolling.
Yeah.
They even implemented that a little bit in the trailer, and I was like, this could be interesting. This looks different. This looks like they're trying to really innovate something with Legend of Zelda. It's not. I think I'm like what it is with Legend of Zelda. I'm tired of the format. I'm tired of the 4 dungeons. One of them's water, and we all hate it. One of them's kind of lava-ish. One of them's like a sand, and then the other one's maybe like a sky dungeon. And then they all bring all the mechanics together in a final dungeon, and then we fight Ganondorf in some new form. It's boring. I've been doing this for years, and I just want to see something different with Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild kind of gave me a little bit of a difference, so like I do give it respect, but it's like I'm a little tired of it. Stop giving me the same format. Stop fighting Ganondorf. Give me Ganon. Give me Pig-Nose Ganon. I want to fight the dude, the big fat dude with like a club. Ganondorf, he's just a typical human who's very powerful. He wants to kidnap Zelda or take over the world. It's boring to me. So that's how I feel about Legend of Zelda in general. So I'm excited to see what's Link's Awakening really going to be like at the end of the day. And I rest my case.
Bro, thank you for the one. Was it $1? I think it was $1. It was $1. Thank you for the $1. I super appreciate it. Everybody hashtag Rollers. Thank you very much. Rick, what about you, my friend?
Sorry, I'm just reading my 3D Zelda magazine.
Oh, put your head down. Those shots have been fired.
Games are awesome, by the way. That was a games review, guys. By the way,
That was really good.
No, but yeah, no, I'm gonna be quick about it because, like I said, I mean, even Kirby fell asleep. I thought the Nintendo Direct was boring. So, except for a few key points. Now, so like I said, we already touched on the Mario Maker, which we know is great. And then one thing that we haven't talked about yet, which probably for good reason, I don't know, I haven't played it yet, was I still haven't even opened it yet. My Starlink thing here, but they just announced during the Direct that it's pretty much like Star Fox, like 2 or whatever. I don't know. It's like this. They're bringing in all these like Star Fox characters like Falco, Peppy, good old Slippy that everybody loves. So maybe that'll give me a reason to actually play it for once. Maybe I'll open it. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to hearing about the Battle for Atlas, whatever expansion that is. And then also the Marvel Alliance thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first Marvel Alliance that is on the Nintendo console? I don't know.
No, there was one on the Wii.
There is one on the Wii, right?
Well, either way, I've actually never played one of those before, and I've heard a lot of praise from it. So I'm actually looking forward to maybe digging my hands into that because I am a huge Marvel fan, and I imagine many of you here and there in the chat, maybe you're all Marvel fans too. So that could be kind of cool to kind of sink your teeth in, especially and I don't know if there will be or not, but maybe if it has like online capability, it could be kind of fun to just play some of your favorite Marvel characters with some of your friends and your buddies. So that could be kind of cool to see. I'm looking through my little list here. I don't have a notebook, unfortunately, but I have my window here. The thing about it, like Beautiful mentioned, and Beautiful Man, you're doing a great job, dude. I think for me, this Direct was more about being happy for others. Key point.
Paul understands me, my boy.
Because
he gets me.
Because a lot of it was just and again, this is me coming in as a Sony fan, so a lot of this was like kind of like ports that are like late to the game, like what was that one, the Dead by Daylight? That's been around for like what, like 2-3 years. It's just like, come on, man. Why is that news? Now I understand ports are there for a reason. Some people don't have all these consoles, they can't play it. So I know I'm excited for them, but for me, I was one of the moments where I fell asleep. And then, but no. On a real note, though, I'm excited to see how people implement that in a Nintendo setting. And on that note, too, and I can't recall if this was in the Direct or not, but how about Nintendo stepping up their game and like kind of getting a little bit more lax on their rating system with, like, for example, Mortal Kombat 11 coming to town.
Oh, I know, right?
I forgot.
That's like the first time that we've seen like since like Mortal Kombat 3, I think, or no, since they had some on Nintendo 64, but really it's like it's been a while, and it's kind of cool to see them kind of be like, all right, okay, we're fine, let's get this, give us this blood, guts, and gore, and then you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting to actually delve into a little bit more. Yeah, it's not very family friendly, like Remy said in the comments there.
For sure. No.
But you know what? Sometimes you got to make do. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and then really the only other thing for me, and like I said, I'll just be quick about it. Aside from Tetris and Mario Maker, and again, Yoshi's Crafted World was cool too, or But I kind of had the opposite feeling with Beautiful on that one. I was actually excited about it until I played the demo, and then I was like, uh-oh, I think it's a little bit too easy. I'm worried that it's gonna be, you know, like one of those games you can beat in like 5 hours, and then it's like, all right, that was $60. So I'm curious to see. I'm hoping now. I will agree, it did feel very relaxed. That was a good part about it. But I'm worried. The demo actually made me more worried about like maybe it was more of like a super kids game, which is fine. You know, like I said, happy for them. But you know, but other than that, we all know. I kind of agree to some extent. It is interesting to see, like Vito said, this is more like a top-down Zelda game with Link's Awakening. And, you know, a lot of people I remember were saying they were worried that, you know, maybe we wouldn't see another top-down Zelda game with the advent of 3D Zelda and, you know, all these consoles using all their power to just make everything look realistic. But now here we come with Nintendo again with this cute, chibi Funko Pop Zelda. And it's like, it looks pretty cool. Yeah. And I'm definitely very excited about that. And, yeah, I don't know, Beautiful, if you played the original, but yeah, it's pretty much, it's got a lot of Mario references. There's a reason behind that. I won't spoil it for anybody, but it's a really good game. And I would just end by saying Marin, who is the female character in that, is the best waifu in Zelda franchise. There you go.
All right.
All right,
It's
Benj.
an all new experience for me.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Benj, what about you, my friend?
I gotta agree with you on that, Bold Gamer, when it comes to like the longevity of of particular games. Like a viewer brought up an interesting point about the recent Kirby game that came out on the Switch, Star Allies, if I said that correctly, because like I have that game and I enjoyed the mess out of that game. I really did, but you know, the biggest drawback of it was the fact that, you know, once you're done, you're done. You're not really gonna come back to it like that. And I could see the fear of that when it comes to Yoshi's Crafted World, because like that's one game that I'm really hyped about. So I'm excited for it, especially the way it looked, the direction that they took, the gameplay, the whole element that reminded me of Klonoa 2 back in the day, where it is like you throw eggs at the fourth ground, you know, the background or fourth ground, however they say it. I guess like, you know, just literally in another plane, basically. You're throwing the egg at another plane. It kind of reminded me of Klonoa 2 in that regard, because the visuals of Klonoa 2 back in the PlayStation 2 era was so amazing. It was a childish kind of game, but for me it was like a lot of fun and I couldn't stop playing. When it comes to Mortal Kombat 11, that really blew my mind. I mean, I haven't played Mortal Kombat as much as I used to, but just the fact that it's there is a huge, you know, plus for Nintendo, that they're kind of they're going past their limit here. They're finally kind of like being a little more lax, which is always a plus. I mean, it, like you said, it pleases the masses, so that's the plus in regards to that. Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasy games getting ported over, even though some of the ports don't seem that amazing, especially when Corey brought up the fact that the menus look like they kind of like grabbed it from the menu designs of like the phone games. But however, after playing Final Fantasy 9, I actually really enjoyed the game so far. Never played it before in my life, so I'm looking forward to trying out the others when it comes to the Switch. The mech game that Beautiful Joe brought up, it reminds me a lot of Zone of the Enders, because like I was a huge fan of Zone of the Enders back in the PlayStation era. Fast-paced fighting giant mechs. I just thought the whole thing was pretty cool, pretty outstanding. And pretty much a lot of the other games you got touched on, maybe Dragon Quest 11 is a pretty hype one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That looks dope. Yo, that too, by the way, on the list. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, it's cool. It's cool. And since we're on the verge of apologizing, I'm sorry for the yarn. You know, I just gotta throw that out there. Because like that was kind of out of nowhere. Like I forgot to hit the mute button because I usually do that because yarning is contagious, and I don't like yarning in the middle of a podcast. That doesn't look very, you know, professional in my opinion. That's just me. You know, so I'm taking the L on that. So, so Dragon Quest 11, I never played it, but I was really hype about it. You know, I really want to give that a try. It looks like it's going to be so interesting. A lot of snacks in that game. So it's going to be interesting. And I think of pretty much everything else is, you know, fair game. You know, it doesn't take much to please me. So. I mean, like, but the last thing I will bring up about the Smash Bros thing, which Beautiful was disappointed about, and that was a bit surprising that they wouldn't go into it. But like Dumo brought up a really good point back in the previous podcast I did, where he mentioned that it's just kind of like a way to remind people that it still exists, just to remind them like, hey, Smash Bros update huge. So I feel like it was just a reminder, especially since for the most part when it comes to fighting games, usually the updates is all about balancing tweaks, the up and coming characters that's gonna come out. So I feel like that's what that update is really going to entail. It was just something to make people thirsty. And I think that's about it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Chadley, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, I'll just run through the list real quick. Ultimate Alliance, yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan, so that caught my eye because I've never played an Ultimate Alliance game. Bald Gamer, to answer your question about online play, I did just watch their video real quick. There's a couple different ways you can play. You can play 4-player on one console. You can play 4-player amongst 4 consoles, like if you're in the same room, you know. So you can do it like a LAN play type style, and then you can also play online. So
nice.
they do say that in the trailer that you can play with other people online. So so that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I thought the game looked amazing. So I mean, I've never played any of the Ultimate Alliance games, so it'd be a really and because it's an action RPG, I thought maybe it'd be something interesting to check out. With the Smash Bros update to 3.0, just with me being a developer, the fact that it's 3.0 usually means major release, so there's going to be something big coming, not just tweaks. I could see easily them throwing down maybe the ability for servers, possibly.
No, I would love that.
That would be cool. That would be awesome.
3.0 would be awesome if they were to just announce that they finally decided to update it to 3.0, which would be a major update to the game, and it would be the perfect time for them to say, hey, by the way, we've been listening to you guys, and now there's dedicated servers.
Oh, that would be so great.
The best thing for that game right now.
It really would.
The best thing for that game is just to have dedicated servers. Even if that's all they do with 3.0 is just update it to do the servers, and then come out with 3.1 or 3.2 to add the characters in later. The game, yeah, like it'd be 10 times better with dedicated servers. I've only played it online for a few times, and I don't find it fun when I play with people and I can't hit them because it is going at 5 frames a second, you know? Like,
I think you're lagging, Chadley.
What?
I think you're lagging.
Yeah. It's 'cause we're not on dedicated servers, that's why. Okay, so, and then the Bloodstained, that looks really good too. There's actually another Bloodstained game before this one, and View wanted me to play it. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
What you doing, Chadley?
I think it's called Curse of the Moon, right?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. So there's a Bloodstain that's already been out, and actually it's in the style of like old school Castlevania, like 8-bit graphics. It looks amazing. Looks super fun. You have multiple characters that you switch out between, and they each have their own abilities, that kind of thing. So if you have any interest in this Bloodstain, I would definitely go and see if you would be interested in playing the first game that was released. I'm not sure if it's the same developer, but I would assume that it's the same developer.
It is.
Okay. But yeah, and then the fact that this one looks like it's an updated version where it's got 3D visuals, and the fact that it seems like they focus on one character with this particular game though, and kind of like is like, oh well, Castlevania did it, so we'll just do it too. We'll make it look updated because of the Castlevania games that came out later had better visuals as well. Treasure Tracker, whatever.
Disregard.
Crafted World, I really enjoyed the demo. I just loved the art style from the beginning of when I saw that game, and it intrigued me because I've never really gotten into the Yoshi games other than playing Yoshi's Island, which was the beginning of the Yoshi platformer games, really. But I still want to go and play Woolly World. I still want to like pretty much play all the Yoshi games because Yoshi's Island was fun, and these games all have those mechanics in them. They just keep throwing in new stuff. But just the fact that the levels look so playful, and the fact that, like Ben said, you can interact with the environments in different ways, and it's not just a simple, hey, it's a side-scroller platform that's got nice 3D background visuals. Like, you actually have to interact, and there's tons of things you can find. So for those people that are big into like collectathon type games where you got to find everything, you got to get 100%, like it seems like there's some challenge with that. And also, if you haven't played the demo, like that first level, they also show you like that you can play the level backwards. So like it's not like you're just playing the level the way it's intended. Like it adds an extra level to that where it's like, oh well, now you're going to play the level backwards at a different viewpoint. So now you can actually see the level differently, because now you can actually see behind buildings that you weren't able to see behind before. And like there's just all these different, like it's just, I don't know, it just drew me in, and I just can't wait for the game to come out. I tried Tetris 99. I think the best I got was top 30s maybe. It just gets way too fast for me, and yeah, but it's a super fun game. It's just I don't see how I could ever get to be top 5. I've seen people at top 5, and that game is ridiculously hard at top 5. So, but yeah, I mean, I could see the draw to it though, because it's obviously free and it's Battle Royale. Everybody wants a Battle Royale game, so. But Deltarune, I've seen some stuff with Deltarune, but I haven't played Undertale, so I'm kind of like with Beautiful there. Like I want to play Undertale first before I dive into Deltarune, because I feel like I would understand Deltarune much better once I know how it ties into Undertale. Daemon X Machina looks pretty interesting. I've never really been into the mech type games, but be an interesting one. Hellblade, yeah, like that one looks amazing. It's not very family friendly for me, but but I mean, it looks cool. Be a game I definitely would probably want to check out off stream, and maybe even possibly do it on Twitch. I don't know. Just laying that out there, guys. So. And then yeah, Link's Awakening, like I'm super psyched for that one too. So.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Louis?
Yeah, everything's been said. I'm interested in Hellblade. I want to see what that looks like. I want to see if the video that they showed is actually representation of what it's going to be like on the Switch. But I do like the fact that they're doing more adult-oriented games. I'm really, really interested in Dragon Quest Builders 2, because I really enjoyed the first one of that one.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm interested in seeing that. Everything else, I mean, everybody's already said. I'm excited for a lot of the games that are coming out. I'm interested. I'm in school though, so I probably only get to watch people play them. But you know, it is what it is. I think there's a lot of interesting games coming out. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Everybody already said everything. Although I gotta say, Tetris 99 Battle Royale. How much do you want to bet that started in an office? Go, guys, Battle Royales are like popular. Imagine like Tetris Battle Royale, and now it's like the next big thing.
Yep, exactly.
Of course, it had to be Nintendo. Like,
yeah, of course. I'm really excited for Bloodstain. I love what they showed. I want to play it. I never played the first one, so I really want to play that one too. But it looked really good. It intrigued me, and I want to grab it. Ultimate Alliance, I only played the first one. Me and my brother used to play it on the PC, and that was fun.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what the third one has in store for us. I tried the Yoshi game. I was really hyped for it, and I jumped on it, and I played it. I just felt it too kid-like, so I was like, I was like, because you know what, I'm used to Yoshi's Island from SNES. It was a little bit more difficult, you know, it had that thing to it, but this one feels more kid-friendly, and it's really simplified, and I'm just like, no, this isn't for me. The game looks great. The game looks great. It runs great, but it's just not what I was expecting. Dead by Daylight, I was surprised that it showed up, and I was like, oh, that's cool that it's on there. But it doesn't give it justice to the Switch, because honestly, Hellblade looked 10 times better than what Dead by Daylight looked like, and that game's old already. And I feel like they could have pushed it on the Switch a little bit more than what you're looking at now. But I mean, Deltarune, like, I like Undertale. I enjoyed Undertale. I felt like the hype for Undertale, some people bring it way up than what it really is. The game is fun, but I played a little bit of the one on the PC just to try it out, and I gotta say I'm not that fond of it compared to Undertale, so I'm gonna probably just stay away from that one. You know, but Zelda Link Awakening, now that game, oh my god, I'm excited for that one, hands down. That's the one. I'm super excited for that one. It looks really good. I'm excited to see what we have in store. I love the whole clay type look to it, you know, kind of makes me want to grab Play-Doh and see what I can build.
Well, it excites me because that means if this is really successful, who knows, maybe they'll port the other one that came out on the 3DS, A Link Between Worlds. That game was phenomenal.
Oh, that
game was really fun.
It looked cool.
It was really good. So I'd like to see more games like this come out. Like if this opens the door, because A Link Between Worlds everybody loved. If everybody loves this one, I would like to see more games like this come out.
Now, Fire Emblem, I'm not a fan of. I don't like their battle system. I never liked the game. So I was like, I wasn't really thrilled about that. But Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest. That
was my show, dude.
Right? It's exactly. Dragon Quest has me more intrigued because it's something I've never tried. And I like the battle system, and I like what I saw, so I'm very excited for that one. It looks very fun. Overall, just I think what they showed for list wise, there's a lot of good games and potential out there, and I know a lot of people were waiting for Metroid and Animal Crossing. I was gonna say Animal Crackers.
You're wild today. Tales, Animal Crossing. You want to get back to your childhood,
right? But yeah, overall, I think we're doing we're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, what else can we say? That I think the Direct had a good. Now, I don't know what we're expecting. Maybe they're waiting for E3. But here, like, I didn't touch this question, but I think I might this time. Because Sony said they're not going to be at E3 this year. They said it's irrelevant now. Do you think that's true? Like, let's just jump into it. Do you think that's true? So, what do you think, Beautiful?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Okay, so Sony's not going to be at E3. Because we're just talking about Nintendo, right? And how they didn't show a lot of games. So, and some people are saying they're going to hold it for E3. But Sony says that it's irrelevant now, E3. So,
right. I did hear something about Sony dropping out of E3.
I mean, do you think Nintendo...
Question. Is Microsoft still going to be at E3?
I have no idea.
Apparently, yeah.
And it's strange. So, on that note, it's weird. It's kind of I forgot one of you brought it up earlier that Sony is getting arrogant So Sony's getting really cocky, and it's kind of like E3. Who needs that? We already know we're on top. Oh, crossplay. Who needs that? We're already on top. People only want to play our console. Sony's putting on the shade. They're like, I don't care about nobody. So, at the end of the day, it's all about Sony. When you put the shades, there's too much shade, and it's arrogant. And here's the thing: I've always been a Sony. Let me take these off. I've always been a Sony fan. Sony and Nintendo, they're always like same with Paul, that they've always been like my two big ones. But it's like turning me off a little bit from Sony, because it's like, no E3. What are you going to do? Are you going to have your own conference? Or are they kind of trying to copy off of Nintendo? Are they going to have like Sony Directs? Having their own, they have their own little thing where like the Sony head, whatever his name is, I don't remember his name is. He goes into the, his own little screen and webcam, and he's like, oh, today we're going to present, I don't know, Uncharted 5 or something. Okay, I could see that being kind of cool, but they're just straight up skipping E3. It doesn't look good. It doesn't really look good. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about it. I think it's arrogant. Sony not even implementing the whole crossplay thing kind of bothered me. The fact, it's funny because it's like my respect for Microsoft is actually raising, and my respect for Sony is actually dropping a little bit more. Like Microsoft has really been like kind of dropping their pride, and Sony's pride is just getting bigger. They need to be kind of knocked off their pedestal a little bit. I feel like they're kind of getting back to their PS3 era, where PS3 they were really arrogant and they didn't have a right to be because they weren't on top. PS3 was not on top until the end of that generation of console wars. So it was weird. I don't really have too much to say about that, but I'm excited to see that now that E3 is going to be Microsoft and Nintendo, they're kind of like buddy now. I feel like they're just going to make E3 not necessarily a competition, but more of like they're complementing each other. They're going to be complementing each other's platforms. So I can see E3 just kind of being a big shared event rather than oh, look at me, I have the bigger and cooler console. I have the better and best console. It's more just, hey, look at the stuff that we're going to be offering gamers as a whole.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Rick, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, so I kind of have a theory about this. So I kind of touching on what I think maybe they're feeling arrogant, and this is coming from a Sony fan. I'm a huge Sony fan.
No, for sure.
I was Sony only, and I missed out the whole GameCube entirely because I was Sony PS2. But I kind of feel like maybe someone there got wind of this Xbox Nintendo partnership, and they're like, well, you know what? If you don't need me, well, I don't need you. I'm out of E3. And so
I can see that.
And so maybe they got some of that going on, where maybe they kind of caught wind of that, and they kind of just feel like they're just gonna maybe do their own thing, and maybe but I don't know. Yeah, pretty much what Nate just said, the old Cartman quote right there.
Screw you guys, I'm good.
That's kind of what they got going on, and it's sad because I mean I don't know what that's going to do for the industry. I mean, I know a lot of people tune into that to kind of just see, what's coming out for like Sony and Nintendo and Xbox or whatever. And now one of the big boys is hitting the road. And so I don't know if that's going to hurt it or make it better, or maybe bring people closer together with Nintendo. It might actually honestly help out Nintendo Xbox even more. In fact, that may even been why they even brought that up. Like, hey, you know what? Sony sucks. Let's team up. Maybe they're fighting back. So I really don't know, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, I am a Sony guy. So I feel like maybe on their end they feel like they're being bullied, and I think they're just backing out, which I don't think is the right move. But who knows? But maybe they'll come up with their own thing. I don't know if we resolved whether or not they do have their own thing, like their own little conference or whatnot, but who knows? But I think it's a bad move for Sony, if I'm being honest.
For sure.
So
Benj, what about you, buddy?
All right. E3 has been around such a long time, and it always generated a bit of hype. And it's kind of like, I would say it's actually hard to believe that E3 is literally dying, but like you guys said, the rumor is definitely out there. Especially, oh my god, this dude just brought up Soulja
What?
He brought up Soulja Boy at E3. I'm done.
Soulja Boy Revolution.
Yo, his new console, dude. It's gonna be hype. E3 might be, yo, new
I'm
competition.
dead.
That's why Microsoft is out. Soldier Boy paid them to leave so he could take the platform.
That's why Microsoft and Nintendo banded together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take down Soldier.
They're worried. He has some good stuff going on there.
He's the real.
He's the real enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just so interesting to see these alliances, right? I mean, I guess like people had concerns that something was going wrong with E3 because at one point E3 used to be kind of like a media only kind of event where like the public really wasn't necessarily allowed to come in, and it's like now all of a sudden they're allowing the public in, and I guess it's just kind of like one of those things there. Well, what's there to do? And there's not much to do because there's still more media-esque stuff. Maybe they're just theorizing that they're bringing the public in just because the hype, trying to keep the hype alive, but I doubt it. It's really hard to say, but since E3 was such a big thing, I mean, I don't really think it's dying. And like you guys mentioned, you know, PlayStation is on this strange high horse. And, you know, I'm a huge PlayStation fan, and then hearing all this and seeing how crossplay isn't a thing and people complain about it all the time, just like how recently I did a live stream and I did a buy stream for like a game that's on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4. And, you know, I had Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Striker on the PS4. And somebody was like, "Oh man, I wish you had it on the Xbox so we could have played because there's no crossplay." Once again, it's just that thing, you know. PlayStation is too up on their high horse because they always been on E3, and for them to just drop out like that. And I think Crispy mentioned that they was talking about doing something at the end of the year or something. And PlayStation over the past couple years, PlayStation has been copying Nintendo quite a bit. Like when the Nintendo Wii dropped, and the Wii literally outperformed both Microsoft and Sony at that time. And then you had Microsoft and PlayStation trying to come up with their own motion control scheme. And then all of a sudden, over the past 2 years, Nintendo is going ham with the Nintendo Direct, because Nintendo wasn't the type where they like relied on heavily E3. It was like they always did their own thing, and that's the major plus. I mean, and now it's like they benefited so well from that because it's not, no one has to wait until summer just to hear something. They're hearing something constantly throughout the year, and now it's like PlayStation is, what are they planning that? Probably. Look how they failed with that stupid monstrosity of a PlayStation Mini. What kind of trash is that?
I haven't even opened it.
I haven't even opened it.
Trash. I mean, with that said, I mean, like you guys were saying, hey, I don't think E3 is going anywhere right now. It's just shifting power, shifting in alliances.
Yeah, for sure. Chadley, what do you have to say, my friend? We're at the end now.
Maybe Sony was afraid that people would bring in their PlayStation classics and like play them on the stage, presenting their new stuff. It's possible they could say, "Hey, take it back."
Yeah.
Here, you can take it back for free. I don't even want.
Yeah, I don't even want my money back.
Bag.
But yeah, I mean, I was trying to read a little bit to see if there was more information on maybe the reasoning why Sony isn't here at E3 this year. I mean, to me anyway, it seems like if Sony was ready to make a big announcement about the PlayStation 5 now, they'd be at E3.
Yeah.
I feel like it might not be because they want to avoid it because they feel it's irrelevant. It might be because they don't have anything to show.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're behind. Maybe they're behind schedule and they don't want to look like a fool for not having anything and just saying like, oh well, here's some games, but not really bring what people really want to hear about. Like they want to hear about their next console because Microsoft is going to be probably making announcements at E3 about their next hardware that's coming out. Nintendo probably won't do anything about hardware announcement, but they already have such a good lineup of games in 2019 that if that's all they bring to E3 and allow people to actually play the games that are coming out, like that's really all they need at this point. The Switch is doing awesome in the market right now, so they don't need to bring hardware to E3.
Yeah.
They need to bring games, and they already showed that that's what they're planning on doing. So, but Sony, like, it seems to me like Sony's just like, we're not ready to show it yet, and we don't want to look like fools. So if we don't have anything big to show, let's just back out.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Smart, I guess, in a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And obviously, people are going to take that and run with it and make it sound like, oh, well, they're like turning their head, they're just putting their chin up in the air, like being all snobby about it. But you know, it's possible, very possible that they're actually doing this to be smart and not to be like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
So.
No, exactly. Louis, what do you have to think?
No extra comments. Everybody already said everything.
All right, guys. Yeah, I don't have nothing to say either. Well, I think this was a really good TacoCast. Like, we had a great bunch of viewers and a great group of guests, so that was really good. And then Louis was able to join us for this one too. So that was awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Beautiful. That Bald Gamer, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for this one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Guys,
Thank you.
please don't forget to go and hit that sub button for Beautiful, That Bald Gamer, Venge, Chadley, and Retro for the first time, and myself if you haven't already. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to go on an epic raid. I have a friend here who's streaming.
Thank you.
He just hit that 1,000 sub. And yeah,
Yo,
so
that's awesome.
exactly. So
Nice.
he's streaming right now. His name is Gamepad Emulator, and he only has 2 people watching. So I think it'd be nice to go in there and really give him some love. But yes, guys, next month join us. We're gonna have some new guests. Thank you all for joining us. Let's go ahead and go on this epic raid. Let me send you guys all this linkage, and we're gonna use hashtag TacoCast raid. There we go. Let me go ahead and open the window here. I'm getting
Steffi was on it.
I'm getting a little bit of lag on his stream, so I don't know if it's him or not. There he is. Let's go ahead and give him a surprise. See what he says. Let's see what happens.
It's locking up.
It's locking up.
Alright, let's see what we've got. Join the raid. Okay, we've got Chadley, Christmas please. Stefan, fantastic. There's my man. Hey, what's up, Retro for the first time? Go up here, look. Bold.
He's really happy. That's good. That's good. I love when we make someone really happy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you all for joining us, guys. As of right now, I'm still not up and streaming. I won't be up until tomorrow night around 5 and 8. That's what they said I have to wait for. I'll start streaming possibly Tuesday, so let's cross our fingers for that. And again, beautiful, thank you for waking up super early and joining us. Rick, thank you again. Oh, of course, man, of course. And I love that you wore the suit. You promised and you...
Yo, I promised you guys, I'm a man well represented.
And if you want to read about some good Zelda games,
yeah. I gotta put putting shades on for that one.
So thank you, Rick.
For my thumbnail. Be sure to be looking for this thumbnail.
Make sure everybody have the same thumbnail, just the bald. Make sure you get that thumbnail.
Yes, I'm gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna put hashtag that bald gamer at the end.
Oh no.
Venge, thank you again for taking the time to join us. Chadley, thank you for taking the time as well from your busy schedule. Louis, thank you for lending me your house and keeping everybody awake while we're doing this. Guys, thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate it. I will see you guys another day. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. And don't forget the most important thing in the whole wide world. Come to my live stream. I'm super famous. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
See you later, guys.
Take care, ladies.